Hello everyone, welcome to new video. In this video, we are gonna discuss about the introduction part of estimating and costing and some definitions which is usually used in this subject as well as civil engineering. Here comes the actual definition of it. it. Estimating and costing is usually one of the main topic which comes under construction management, in which the calculation is done and calculation of materials, calculation of tools, calculation of equipment, and usually calculation of labors required is done, and which ultimately it ends with cost associated with them. Estimating is a rough calculation or usually a guess that is made by the educated personnel or civil engineer or any surveyor or any person who is based in that particular subject. The value, the number, or some quantity or some extent approximate calculation is done in estimate, as well as to find the answer which is close to right answer. If some calculations are involved, then it is also known as estimation. Estimation should be done in particular given time, which deals about approximation or some prediction or some projection hitting at the point estimating is done. And it is one of the cheapest type of method or cheapest type of accurate method to find some guess or from to find the amount required to complete the particular given work, and it is usually simply educated guess, right? Now the purpose of estimating are stated as below, right? To know the necessary amount of money required by the owner to complete that work in particular time. Similarly, quantity of material required in given time. uh, a designer gives a good drawing, qualitative drawing. By looking at that, a estimator will take out the estimation to determine accurate quantities of material required. Similarly, workers, the main purpose of estimating is to determine the worker required. Various types of works, various types of workers are required to complete the work, which will directly benefited by estimating of that project. Also, to estimate materials, we have already stated before. Similarly, tools and plants, to arrange particular tools, particular plants in proper arranged numbers. Similarly, the main purpose of estimating is to find the schedule of particular work. To complete the work in given time, we need to have some schedule. Estimating directly provides in that. Also, estimate helps us to go calculate the completion of that project, right? Looking at other work, looking at other previous works, we can usually estimate the time required for that project. Similarly, the main purpose of estimating and costing is cost benefit ratio, the amount of cost required and the benefit we get from this project. This also is calculated by estimation. We have this figure to understand purpose of estimate. uh, to know to complete the project in given time, to know actual amount of cost, to know actual required number of labor, to know actual material and quantity. Sanction project means give permission or approval for something. Invite tender, the main purpose of estimate is also to invite the tender on the basis of that estimate. And more, also valuation, to know the valuation of some property or some land or something. Valuation is done, and in all of those names which we can see in this figure, estimate is required in each and every terms which has been separated here. Estimated cost and actual cost. Estimated and actual cost usually show the difference between prediction and reality of the cost. Estimated cost usually show prediction, whereas actual cost shows us reality of the cost. The understandable method for estimated cost and actual cost is by differentiating them. So that I have differentiated here these two costs, and which goes like this. Estimated cost usually they are used to plan for some type of project and which is done before the project start. Whereas actual cost, it involves the actual cost required, the main cost required during the construction of project, and which is known when the project is end, at the end, right? Also, estimated cost of a building or any kind of project can be done before the project has been started, whereas actual cost is found after the project or after the building or after some construction is done. Also, estimated cost are types of prediction on the basis of some types of looking at past data, or simple by surveying. Estimated cost is done prediction, whereas actual cost are the main cost which the customers usually pay. This is just the actual definition of these two costs. Estimate cost is one guessing, right? It is the future construction or future actual cost will be. We guess, we predict by looking at the number of labor or by looking at number of materials required, right? Estimate is done, which is known as estimate cost. Whereas actual cost of construction is that true cost or that main cost which comes or which is obtained usually after the completion of certain project or certain building or certain bridge or certain type of work, right? The main theme is estimated is done before the projection, which is usually prediction, and actual cost is that cost which comes after the project is completed and which is usually paid by customers. Now we are going to discuss some definition of some terms which is required in estimating and costing. At first, we have administrative approval. By name, it is clearly understood, right? By approval from some administration. It is one formal acceptance which is given by administrative department for further proceeding of any type of work or any type of project. Also, in administrative approval, the detailed drawing, the detailed design, and the estimated cost all are required, and the administrative approval is done. Also, administrative approval is basically it deals with the written format which is given by department which has that authority, which is usually submitted to consultant, yeah, who is ready to do the work, and which usually provides the cost, time, and some specifications required in it, right? And actual definition is the formal acceptance of proposals by authority is known as administrative approval of work. Now we have technical sanction. In technical sanction, after the administrative approval is done, now technical authority, engineer or some particular understandable person or particular authority will provide detailed estimate of that particular construction work or particular project, right? Then the estimate or total cost required, it is done by public work department, which comes under technical section, right? Technical section, it is one of the order which is given by technical personality. Like in terms of civil engineering, we can say engineer, civil engineer, surveyor, which is uh, associated with government or the authority side. Okay, now we have capital cost. Capital cost is that main cost which is usually required for full functioning of that project, right? It is total cost. It is total cost uh, which is usually needed to bring the project to commercially operable status. If the operation of that project is has to be done, then capital cost has to be finalized. Also, we have schedule of rates. Schedule of rates, it involves the various items, for example staff's labors, right? And the detailed list of rates of those type of work is done in schedule of rates. It helps in preparation of estimate. Also, it is prepared by public work department, right? The schedule of rates of those type of staffs are required, or those type of labors are required, or those type of plants are required, or those type of tools are required. It is usually scheduled and the rate required for those type of works are separated, and it is also known as rate analysis. Schedule of rates is that. Now we have abstract of cost. Abstract of cost gives the cost of each item of work. It denotes one method. It denotes a methodology for a project evaluation, right? For a project evaluation and a fundamental concept of economic matters. In abstract of cost, the total cost, the aggregate cost we can say, of every type of work which is associated with that project is computed in one format, right? We also can say it is summary of estimated cost, right? Which is, and the format of abstract of cost is it's shown here. Earthwork, right? Excavation it comes under earthwork, and filling it comes under earthwork. Filling is done in meter cube, excavation is done in meter cube, and quantity is given, rate is given, amount is given, right? And similarly the work which comes under concrete work, PCC, RCC, right? All those type of works, and VAT is added, contingency is added, right? All those type of works we list in one format, and we calculate this, and we all calculate the total amount which is known as abstract of cost, right? Bill of quantities. Abstract of cost which we studied before, it's given by the government personnel, or from where the work has to be done, from where work comes. And bill of quantities it's done by the consultant, obviously, who does the work, right? Bill of quantities, it document used in tendering of construction or in some industry, or some which also include materials, parts, labors, etc. It is usually prepared by quantity surveyor, and in this each item's price is stated, right? We can see here it is one tabular form, right? It is one tabular form, and total quantities of each item of work is constructed here, and it is also known as bill of quantities table, right? We have one figure here: particular and detailed of work, earthwork, brick soiling and plastering work. These are types of work, right? Quantity number, length, breadth, height, and total quantity required. It is one detailed format. It is one detailed format in which particular works detail has to be given by whom? By consultant, which is usually prepared by quantity surveyor, right? Each and every item's quantity is focused in bill of quantities, right? Now we have contingency. In abstract of cost, we saw a term contingency. Contingency means a fund which is added to cost estimate to compensate the cost estimate inaccuracies if there are certain type of uncertainties in one project, right? To compensate those amount, contingency is added, right? Usually there are certain type of risks in every project, right? Contingency is used into in capital cost. It is added in capital cost to cover certain risk. It is usually added 3 to 5%, right? We have one definition here: the estimated cost of work is provided in estimate to cover up, right? The amount is called contingency amount. To cover the amount to provide the risk management, we can say contingency is added, usually 3 to 5% to every type of project. Now we have plinth area. Plinth area is that covered area where actual built up is done, where actual construction is done, right? It is also known as ground floor level or floor level of basement. Plinth area is also called built up area, and it includes all the area of that building or of that compound, including internal walls which is inside the building, or external walls which is outside the building. Plinth area is usually 10% to 20% more than carpet area. What is carpet area? Now we will study now, right? Carpet area. Carpet area is that area which is enclosed within the walls. Also, from its name, it is clear that the area where carpet is laid or where carpet is kept. This area, carpet area, the term, it does not include the thickness of inner walls. Usually, a calculation is given here. Plinth area is equal to carpet area plus 30 to 40% of total area for circulation and walls. Right, 30 to 40% is usually given for some circulation or some walls. Right, it includes the thickness of walls. Right, carpet area means net usable floor area of any apartment. Right, we can see an carpet usually laid in one room or usually in one building. It includes this area. Now we have work charged establishment. Usually during construction of some type of project, right, we require various skilled supervisors, skilled manpowers, or people who help in work assistance, watchmen, right, on a temporary basis. Right, the salaries of those person, which is drawn from lump sum total amount, right, which is known as work charge establishment. That is establishment which is charged directly to work, the amount of money which comes directly within the work. Right, around 2% to 2.5% of estimated cost work charge establishment is usually provided. This also includes wages and allowances of staff. Wages means certain amount of salary, certain amount of money is given to this type of workers. We have studied almost some necessary terms we required in estimating and costing. If you have any type of confusion or any type of some terms which we see, you can ask directly in comment section. I will try to reply as soon as possible. Thank you so much for listening this video. We will meet in next video. Thank you so much.